Ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
I'm part of the Kliq, isn't everybody?
Yes! 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 I got an idea, yeah. Beat up John Cena!
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Too sweet! This is where the power lies!
I am the man.
Beat me if you can! Come on!
It's showtime, folks!
The following episode is scheduled for one fall, and it is for your listening pleasure. This is In The Kliq.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, and joining me once again is my good brother from Within the Ropes and the Bullet Cast. It's BrianTronic. How's it going, man?
It's going great, Huey. It's a nice Monday, and we're officially on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, you just say a nice Monday, but yeah, I feel like you're downplaying it a little bit. I mean, here we are, man. We are less than a week away from the Showcase of the Immortals, WrestleMania 38. It's here, man. It's going to be happening. Here we are. We are inside WrestleMania week now. And for all the Kliqsters out there, in case you missed our last episode, which you should go listen to, because our previous episode, we talk about our tribute to Scott Hall, talk about some AEW, cover a lot of stuff there. But yes, we officially announced on the previous episode, but we'll go ahead and say it again here. It is confirmed you and I will be out in Dallas, Texas this weekend covering WrestleMania 38, the two-night stupendous event.
Stupendous.
I got to get that down because I feel like we're going to have to be repeating that a lot this weekend. So, but it's official. Brian and myself are going out to Dallas, Texas. Never been to Texas before, neither one of us. So it's going to be really exciting. We're going to get in this Thursday. We're going to, I believe, check out some MLW. But then there's so much going on this Thursday, March 31st. Who knows? We might, the spur of the moment, just spontaneously go somewhere else. It's there's a lot going on. Brian, I think I told you, last episode, the cool thing about WrestleMania is wherever city WrestleMania is hosted in, the whole area just becomes a wrestling city. Yeah. As far as other promotions and events are going on around there, really trying to capitalize on this one time of the year where so many wrestling fans are in one centralized location. So everyone's capitalizing, having their own separate events going on. And everywhere you turn, you're going to see fellow wrestling fans wearing wrestling gear and shirts and merch, titles. Yep. I mean, you're going to hear a lot of wooing, a lot of people cheering each other on. I mean, just be prepared, Brian. You're going to be amongst your peers, your people.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be so much fun. And just kind of looking up online, it looks like Dallas, Texas, that downtown area, looks like a lot of stuff are happening there. So it looks like everything's kind of walking distance. Looking forward to it. You and I will be documenting as best we can on social media. So please follow at In The Kliq. That's KLIQ, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow me at Baby Huey Official on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Baby Huey 83. Between all that stuff, I'm going to be posting photos, videos, Instagram stories, all that stuff. Brian, if everyone wants to follow you at BrianTronic, that's TRONIC, right?
Yes.
I get that right. I try not to look at, I try not to look at the spelling on the screen here. So follow at BrianTronic, also at Within the Ropes. We're going to be posting on everywhere. We'll be sharing some stuff. Also, Tim from Pro Wrestling Unlimited will also be helping us out with some content related stuff. So make sure to follow at Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Subscribe to their YouTube channel. Tim does an amazing job, but follow Tim on social media as well. Actually, let me just confirm. I don't want to screw up. I know on Twitter, it's PWRLN W Unlimited. So follow them on Twitter, or Tim. It's Tim that runs it all. So yeah, follow Tim there. And then if you also want to follow Timmy by himself, follow at Timmy Buddy. He's going to be like our, you want to call it, our man back home, manning the headquarters, I guess you could say, even though he lives in Fresno, a few hours away from us. But yeah, he will be helping us produce a lot of great content. I'm looking forward to that. So I think the three of us are like a three-headed monster, just jumping, representing the West Coast, being on site in Dallas, Texas, in WrestleMania. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said in the last podcast, I can't wait to kind of relive, going to a WrestleMania, traveling to WrestleMania through your eyes, Brian, because I've done it a few times, but to kind of redo it again vicariously through you, that's what I'm looking forward to. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to doing or seeing or experiencing?
I mean, I'm just everything, really. I mean, it's a special time of the year for me. Yeah, as a wrestling fan, and getting the opportunity to experience it through a different lens this time is very, very exciting. Huge opportunity. So pumped. And full with energy. It's on my mind every day. So definitely on the road to WrestleMania. I can't wait.
Literally, we are in the home stretch. This is like the final week. This is literally the road to WrestleMania now. Here we are. We're recording on a Monday. We just watched Monday Night Raw. It was the go home episode of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania. A stacked show. Combining, it was, I guess they called it Monday Night Raw WrestleMania edition, or more or less. They had members of the SmackDown roster make appearances. So we're going to do WrestleMania Raw. That's right. So we will do a review of Raw, and we'll touch on some stuff from SmackDown. We won't go full blown into SmackDown discussion now that it's been a few days. And plus, there was a lot of crossover tonight from SmackDown, so we can acknowledge some stuff from SmackDown as we discuss tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. But before we get into that, I do want to address a couple things before we get into that. Some clickbait related news. And this came out, I believe, was it Friday? It was Friday morning. Triple H officially announced he is retiring from in-ring competition. We kind of knew something was up with his cardiac event that he had last summer, after SummerSlam. And he did an interview with Stephen A. Smith, and there's clips that got released Friday morning talking about what he went through, and then the full-blown 15-16-minute episode or interview with Stephen A. Smith is out there on YouTube. You can watch it. I'll probably reshare it at some point on social media. But yeah, he officially announced he's retiring from In the Ring. Brian, I'll throw it to you, man. Your thoughts on the game announcing his retirement. And I've seen some people online say, game over.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. Again, another one of those moments where it just came out of nowhere. Again, we knew about the cardiac event that took place, and him taking some time off, and he earned it. In my opinion, he deserves it. I mean, he's a hardworking guy. Work. I'm sure every single day he was going maybe 110, 120 miles per hour, especially with the lengthy schedule that the WWE has in general, and that's just aside from his duties and everything he was doing with NXT. But yeah, man, I think the one thing that sucks about it is that he's kind of having to retire not on his own terms.
Yeah.
I was hoping that at least he would be one of the ones that would finally get to, kind of go out on, however he wanted to go out. I mean, I know we have Taker, who's someone who I think kind of went out the way he wanted to go out. But at the same time, he was one of those guys that didn't really know. He had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. He
kind of overstayed his welcome. There have been some people who've criticized Undertaker for kind of overdoing it. It's like, dude, you could have retired a handful of times over the last 10 years.
Right. But whenever Triple H, aside from the last time Well, it wasn't the last time. It was the Saudi Arabia trip, the tag team match with Shawn Michaels and Brothers of Destruction. Aside from that, because I know he tore his rotator or pec or something during that match. Aside from that, he looked like he was still in great shape to be able to go and have another one, good match, whether it was his last one or not. But yeah, I'm glad that they caught it and took care of it. I know in the interview he said he had viral pneumonia.
Yeah, so I'm looking up here just the recap of that interview from WrestlingInc.com. So yeah, what he told Stephen A. Smith. So we didn't know too much when this all went down back in August. It just said like a heart event, cardiac arrest, or whatever. It just WWE was being very vague, and he kind of explained in the interview they were vague on purpose because they knew the full extent of what he was going through, and he didn't want to reveal too much yet without knowing full himself what was exactly going on. But he told Stephen A. Smith he has a generic heart issue. I guess his dad had triple bypass surgery, his grandfather had heart issues, and his great grandfather I think even had it as well. So like genetically it's in his blood, and he didn't think anything of it. He gets tested regularly with WWE's doctors, and he's always been in great shape, obviously, as a competitor, in-ring competitor, but no signs of, something tragic or, something bad was on the horizon with his health. But then sure enough, he did say he had viral pneumonia. His lungs were inflamed. He noticed, his body wasn't feeling right. He had COVID before, and he said he is vaccinated, but the symptoms felt kind of like COVID, so he thought maybe he had COVID again. But sure enough, he was coughing up blood. And his wife, Stephanie McMahon, says, we need to go get this checked. And he had fluid in his lungs, and it was fluid around his heart. They did an EKG and echo and everything around his heart that pumps out blood. It's supposed to be like 55 to 65% ejection fraction. That's like the normal number. He was down to 30. Then he got a text message from his doctor saying, just hurry up, pack a bag, get to the hospital, to the emergency room, fill you in. It got down to 22. And I think right before they had surgery, it got down to like 12. Mm-hmm. So his heart was failing on him. And it's just scary to just think about. And then during the interview with Stephen A. Smith, he was getting kind of, choked up and talking about he was just concerned about surviving and being there for his 3 young daughters, which is interesting. We don't see, him and Stephanie really talk about the kids too much publicly. I guess they're 15, 13, 11 years old. We've seen them occasionally in the crowd. I think, what was it, his match with Batista, I think, with WrestleMania, like they were ringside, so it's kind of cool. You kind of can't once in a while see them. But yeah, he was just getting emotional thinking about, he almost died, and he was just worried about leaving his kids behind. So with that being said, Stephen A. said, what's your status wrestling? He says, unfortunately, I can't wrestle again. He has a what's the thing called in your chest? Defibrillator?
Defibrillator, yeah.
Yeah, so, and he says he can't wrestle because he doesn't want to take a bump and get shocked on national TV. And actually, I know someone who has one, and it's kind of trippy. Like, they place it above your heart, and, it's like a bump on over your chest, or that part of your heart. It's like you see a little bump, but that's where it's placed at. And then, anytime your heart, I believe, from what I've been told, I'm not a doctor, but if something happens to your heart, then that thing will go off and like shock your heart to get it back going. So it's like it's a defibrillator right there, and it will just automatically go on. So it's under your skin. It's inside a part of your body now. Wow. So unfortunately, Triple H's career has come to an end now, and he just had to retire. And then the whole wrestling community, just the pouring love and support posts, social media posts, and everything was really awesome. It is bittersweet, as you said, Brian. We're happy that he's alive and he's finally telling his story and expressing what's going on. But at the same time, it does sucks because someone of his status could not officially, in on his own terms, have a retirement match or some sort of program to kind of go out on his terms, go out on top, or putting someone else over, whatnot, in the traditional wrestling, storytelling.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, in the bigger picture of things, he's alive. That's what really matters here. But I was thinking about it. I was looking it up. So it looks like his last match was June 29th, 2019, tagged with Shinsuke Nakamura in a win over Robert Roode and Samoa Joe at a non-televised WWE live event in Tokyo, Japan. His last televised match was against Randy Orton at Super Showdown pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. That was on June 7th, 2019. So the DX reunion against the Brothers of Destruction, that was 2018, I'm guessing then?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's, and yeah, in the last few years, he's been kind of appearing here or there, WrestleMania. Like, I guess his last WrestleMania match was it Batista or
35? Yeah, it had to have been Batista.
Yeah, Batista in New York. Yep. Yeah, I was there for that one. So yeah, it's
a lot of people were mentioning that like, I guess, match, quotation marks that he had with Randy Orton in the Thunderdome.
Oh yeah, but was that more of like he was in street clothes, right? And it was like a stare down, and it was like an in-ring segment. Yeah. And then I unless I forget, remember during their time in the Thunderdome, or actually I think this was still in the Performance Center filming during the pandemic. Didn't they celebrate Triple H's 25 years with WWE? Remember that happened at one point? Him and Shawn Michaels were in the ring telling jokes and stuff.
That's right. That was in the early pandemic in the Performance Center. That's right.
Yeah, because he started his wrestling career in '92 in WCW as like one of the Blue Bloods, and but I think he went to WWE. Was it '94 or '95? If I remember, I have to look it up, but I'm just
95.
Let me see here, because he was the Elegant. Let's see. WCW 94 to 95, and then WWE 95. Yeah. Okay. So 2020 would have been his 25th anniversary at the time. So, yeah, man. Like, what at this point? Let's just reflecting on him. What can we say that has been said already? He's one of the all-time greats. Legendary. I'll turn to you, Brian. Just kind of your overall thoughts on his career, what it meant to you. Just any just thoughts about him, what it meant to you.
Yeah, he meant a lot to me. I believe, other than Hogan, right? Because I think Hogan was first. Was one of those guys. He was the bad guy you love to hate, or you hated to love, right? He was definitely one of those bad guys that you look at and I wish I want to be like Triple H. Like, I want to be the Game. Like, I want to be that damn good, I mean, every single time he was out there, and I remember his transition from, DX, and then him being on his own, and, the music change, and him having those matches with Mick Foley, Cactus Jack. Yeah. Oh, it's some of the best, man.
Okay, a couple things, and God, I know this is going to turn into a bit longer than I was anticipating, but I heard, I forgot who said it, but if you look at all his theme songs and put them back to back to back, play them together, I guess technically the theme of each theme or the story in each song, it tells his full wrestling career, which is kind of trippy to think about that. So if you play the songs back to back to back, it kind of, over the lyrics and stuff, the story from one song to the next, it actually plays plays out his career, or kind of explains, who he is, which is interesting, or at least, because every theme song kind of reflected his gimmick and what he represented at the time. So I can see how that's easily that correlation there.
Definitely.
But I'm just looking over, his accomplishments. 14-time champion WWE, 9 times with the WWE Championship, 5 times with the World Heavyweight Championship, 5-time Intercontinental Champion. He was in the Hall of Fame in 2019 with DX. I'm sure he'll get in 2 more times with Evolution, and then him by himself, singles. He won the Royal Rumble twice, 2002 and 2016. 2-time European champion, 3-time tag team champion. Main evented WrestleMania 7 times. He's executive, COO of WWE. He founded and was the executive producer of NXT, won the King of the Ring in 97. But for all you Kliqsters out there, if you don't know, he was supposed to win King of the Ring in 96, but we all know Stone Cold won that instead because Triple H got punished for the curtain call with the Kliq.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a Grand Slam champion, one of the all-time greats. But yeah, I loved his early run. You know, he was like the regal, you know, sophisticated. You know, he had Sable, a young Sable coming out with him, and remember when Ultimate Warrior beat him hella quick at that one WrestleMania. And then going on, aligning with Shawn Michaels, forming DX. I mean, come on, what can we say about DX that we haven't talked about before? Legendary.
Yep.
And then when he kind of branched off on his own after Shawn retired early, that 5 years he was away from WWE, Triple H really went into his own as far as moving on up to the main event scene. And then, you know, forming, you know, Evolution and just dominating as world champion. Then Shawn coming back, they reformed DX. And that was a little more goofier, comedic stuff. And just, everything he's accomplished. And, you know, what he's done with NXT, you can argue as great as his own career was. A lot of people say, you know, his body of work with NXT was like paying it forward. Like the family tree he kind of created, just a brand that had some of the best wrestling for many years, and so many talented came through that system and became homegrown stars with WWE. So he really created the next generation of superstars and, you know, takeovers. Just NXT as a whole for that run was amazing. You know, so much to talk about. It was interesting for Triple H. I guess I want to ask you, who do you think is his all-time greatest opponent? Because I feel like he's had so many legendary matches with different people in different parts of his career.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough to narrow it down.
Wow.
I mean, Mick Foley, Undertaker, The Rock, those are like the first three I think of.
Yeah. I mean, Foley and Rock, and I want to say on here that, you know, SummerSlam was at 98. Triple H and Rock in that ladder match in the Garden, that's underrated. That's a ladder match that doesn't really get talked about very much. I remember Triple H had the purple tights on. I used to have the figure when I was little.
But
I don't know. Me personally, I would say Foley, because I think Foley helped Triple H go to that next level. When you talk about the game and you know, just being that, I don't even know what to call it.
Heel.
Yeah, that hated heel. I mean, even during the McMahon Helmsley era, I made a joke on Twitter the other day. I said, you know, I feel like during the McMahon Helmsley era, Foley got fired and rehired like every week.
Yeah.
You know, he lost his job so many times when Triple H and Stephanie were in control, you know? So,
The Rock saved him. So with the announcement of the retirement, I was, my dad had a doctor's appointment. And I was killing time sitting in the car. I started rewatching Royal Rumble 2000 and that legendary street fight with Mick Foley and Triple H, and just that video package, goosebumps watching, and just Triple H, you know, the heel that he was, and firing Mick Foley, and The Rock said, "You better rehire him," you know, it just got, like I said, just Mick Foley. He's like, I realize I'm not like tough enough or wherever to take you on, but I know someone who is. He rips his shirt off. It's a Cactus Jack shirt, so it's still him. And then Triple H sold it like, oh my god, he got so scared. Oh my god, I'm gonna face Cactus Jack now. Oh my god. So it's just amazing story. But sorry not to cut you off, but like
but that's that right there. It's perfect. Like, because I can watch Royal Rumble 2000. I own the DVD. Like that's one of my favorite like Royal Rumbles, but also moments for Triple H.
Yeah,
just him coming out in the Garden, and you know, I remember he sent Stephanie to the back. She wasn't even out there for the match. Like that was a big match, you know, and it was brutal. I remember the behind the scenes. He got a wooden pallet stuck in his calf or something. Yeah, he got a wooden pallet stuck in his leg. And I remember they were taking it out backstage while the Royal Rumble match was going on. And
well, no, because like if you think about it, to his credit, when like Austin had to retire early, The Rock went to Hollywood.
Yep.
Shawn Michaels was retired at that point still. He was that bridge between like the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era. Like he stuck there the whole time. A lot of guys came and went, different projects and whatnot. He was the consistent force, you know, that wrestled every single week. And listen, I know a lot of people said what the Reign of Terror that he had, where he just constantly like booked himself, or whoever the powers that be booked him to win all the time. I know the biggest complaint was WrestleMania 19. A lot of people thought Booker T should have won that night, and that promo beforehand was a lot of people question, you know, the topic and stuff that he brought up there. But it's to his credit, you know, he was very loyal to WWE and stuck around. And I'm with you when he elevated himself in that main event scene with China, and you know, after DX was over. And he really became the Game, the cerebral assassin, the menacing heel, and just Jim Ross on those legendary calls, just like screaming his voice, like hated Triple H and all the bad things he did. 2-man power trip with Stone Cold Steve Austin for a quick minute, you know, but he got hurt tearing his quads. It was against Jericho and Benoit, and he was out, and they came back, and they had the that video package with U2 playing the music, and he made that quick recovery to Madison Square Garden, that huge return.
Yep.
But he was a tremendous heel, and I always thought it was cool, you know, when he was on top pre-Evolution and during Evolution, he brought back the big gold belt. Apparently, I heard someone say, I guess Vince and Bruce Pritchard were against bringing back the big gold belt, but he was really like, I want that. Like, you remember Bischoff handed it to him we're bringing it back. You're the champion. I think it was on Raw, right?
Yep. Sure was.
We need a belt for it because the brand split started, the first one. So it's like, here, take this title. But, you know, he knew that historically the big gold belt meant a lot to people. Obviously, WCW and NWA. So I always respected, he loved the history of the NWA, and I think has like an NWA World's Heavyweight Championship title in his office. I thought that was just cool. Like he was the one that said, I want the big gold belt to be the second championship title. And but yeah, I mean, just legendary stuff. I mean, he's so cool. And then Evolution was his version of the Four Horsemen. I mean, there's so much to say, but like I said, I always respected him staying around. And I know, like I said, people do complain he kind of dominated a lot.
True.
Yeah, but
he
stuck it out. Yeah.
Real quick, I don't think he gets enough credit, though. He was the John Cena of that era. He was the Roman Reigns of the, you know, the guy who, in that sense, when you're the guy, you don't want the guy losing. You don't want him, you know, losing all the time. I mean, because you look at how people complained about that then, and then look at now. Like, if Roman Reigns lost, you know, multiple, I mean, he hasn't been pinned since 2019, right? So
I think so. Yeah.
So it's like, if Triple H, you know, or if Roman Reigns today had his run, if throughout his run he was losing, right, up to this point, people would be like, oh, you know, why would you let your champion lose that much, blah 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 blah. Versus back then, you know, you kind of appreciate now, because he wouldn't be who he is today. You know, the game, we wouldn't be looking at Triple H. He wouldn't be as accomplished if he just lost and didn't have all those, you know, rivalries with so many people.
And hypothetically, I know, like, hindsight critical, but at the time, like when Jeff Hardy did finally beat him, it was a big deal.
Yep.
Like for Jeff Hardy and Freddie Prinze Jr., who was part of that storyline, and writing it behind the scenes, and he's talked about it. I know now in hindsight, there's some people who were against Jeff Hardy winning because of his, you know, personal issues, and he wasn't actually champion that long. But, you know, in that moment, it was a big deal for Jeff Hardy, this underdog, to beat Triple H, who was such a dominant force. Hence why, like, when Roman Reigns eventually, when he does lose, whoever beats him, that should be a big deal and create a new star. So I mean, like, God, there's so much to talk about. Triple H has such a long career. and so many cool moments, cool WrestleMania entrances and gear and gimmicks, and just theme songs, entrance music. You always had the best music, with Motorhead. Motorhead's my brother's favorite band, so to hear Lemmy's voice every week and hear Motorhead, and they played at a WrestleMania, played him out to the ring. That was so cool. And I know he's close friends with Lemmy, and I think there were rumors when Lemmy passed away, I think Triple H help pay for the funeral. That's a rumor I heard. So if they streamed the funeral, and Triple H and Stephanie were like sitting front row. I remember that. So it's just God, so much, and just the impact he's had on so many of the other upcoming young talent. It's just he really was a big part of our childhood and the entertainment there. So thank you, Triple H, for all your contributions. It was just great, entertaining stuff. And like I said, I can ramble on. I mean, it was cool. Like in NXT, he brought rock and metal to NXT as well. I always loved that influence. So, I always thought his last match would be in NXT somehow, some way. Honestly, I was waiting for a Triple H takeover match. I mean, we kind of thought Seth and him were going to do something there when Seth hijacked that one takeover, but I know we can keep going on and on talking about Triple H here, but I'm sure we will at various points when Triple H, when he eventually goes in the Hall of Fame by himself. We'll talk a lot about that. So, but thank you, Triple H, for everything. And glad to see he's doing much better now with his health. And we need him, at least an executive role. It looks like he's back in the office and stuff. So we'll still have a presence of Triple H, whatnot. So I always thought he should have been like the new Vince McMahon for this era for someone. I know they had the authority years ago, but maybe at some point, maybe he can be like a new Vince McMahon type persona. Gotta give someone to feed him though, like an Austin type person. So we'll see. But speaking of the Hall of Fame, I do want to acknowledge this. It got announced this morning. The Steiner Brothers are the latest inductees to the 2022 class of the Hall of Fame. Brian, your thoughts, man, on the Steiner Brothers finally going in?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad that they finally get to go in. Whatever beefs or whatever they, Scott Steiner personally had with the company, or Triple H, or whoever. Hopefully that's put behind them. And I think it's great for wrestling fans. It's great for the fans, and it's great for everyone who loved the Steiner Brothers to get to see them inducted and honored and appreciated. I wasn't a huge Steiner Brothers fan when they were in WWF, but once they got to WCW, and they were pretty cool.
Man, I love watching them growing up because they were big guys, but like Scott Steiner was doing some big high flying moves. I mean, the Steiner recliner or Hurricanrana, whoever does it, whatever name, Frankensteiner. Sorry, Scott Steiner says he invented the move, so don't ever say Hurricanrana in front of him. He gets pissed off. But no, I'm super happy for them. It's long overdue. They are one of the most influential tag teams. I would say, for me, behind Road Warriors, they're one of my all-time favorite tag teams. So much fun to watch. And then obviously Rick and Steiner had their singles run. Rick had a pretty good run in WCW. Had the battle with Chucky the Doll. And I think, was he a television champion, I think? Or U.S. champion? Yeah.
Television. Had a couple matches with Booker T.
That's right. And then, I mean, Scott Steiner, come on, Big Papa Pump, the Freak, his run, became a heavyweight champ, U.S. champion, heavyweight champion, WCW, and even, he had a little run in WWE, didn't last too long, but then, he had a pretty good run in TNA, if I remember correctly as well. But no, they're both legendary wrestlers, and, their name continues on. Well, I loosely say their name, but Braun Breaker, Rick Steiner's son, is in NXT right now, dominating, doing great things. So I think the timing's nice because Braun Breaker's finally breaking out in NXT, kind of capitalizing on his momentum and bringing the Steiner Brothers back into the fold with the Hall of Fame. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait for the Hall of Fame speech, though.
Me too.
I mean, God, just Scott Steiner is his old theme music, the woo, the siren, and holla if you hear me. I mean, it's gonna be awesome. I hope they let him just speak. He has no filter. It's gonna be interesting. I'm super excited for this. So looking at the 2022 class for the Hall of Fame, we got the Undertaker. Vince McMahon's gonna induct him. Vader's going in. Oh, it says here in Wikipedia, Mick Foley's going to be inducting him. I guess it makes sense. They had some, of the feud in WCW. Queen Sharmell is going in, and her husband, Booker T, is going to be introducing or inducting her. Steiner Brothers going in, and then the Warrior Award. We should also acknowledge that came out a few days ago. Shad Gaspard is going to be getting the Warrior Award, which amazing. Just, it's tragic. He passed away a couple years ago, but do so saving his son from drowning in the ocean. They were at the beach a couple years ago. We know him at his time in crime time with JTG, and JTG wrestles out here in the Bay Area pretty regularly with stars of wrestling. So but it's cool that they're acknowledging Shad Gaspard because he really is a hero for saving his son's life. So that's gonna be really cool to see. And so it looks like 5 total, and now so Steiner Brothers got announced this week leading up to WrestleMania. I wonder if that's going to be it. Kind of a smaller class, but I'm actually happy with that.
Yeah,
gives more time to Undertaker. I'm sure Undertaker's going to go a lot longer than probably any other speech ever.
Yep.
And then I like it, but it kind of flows better. Keep it shorter. With less inductees, you get more emphasis on each one. Because sometimes when they get too big, I feel like they just kind of power through them super fast. Like the one last year when it was 2020 and 2021 class combined. Yeah, they were just going fast, one after the other. So I like this. Keep it to 5. It's great because think about it as well. It's going to be happening right after SmackDown, so that's going to be a little bit of a long night anyway. Yep. So for everyone in attendance. So we will be out there. We will be doing some social media in real time. You can watch in Peacock. You should tune in. Maybe you can see us on TV wherever we're sitting. Who knows?
Yep.
Just saying.
Who knows?
Yes. All right, let's jump on over to tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, the go-home episode, Raw WrestleMania. Is that what they're calling it again?
WrestleMania Raw.
Brian, turn it to you, man. Kind of just your quick overall thoughts on tonight's episode.
It was better than I thought it was going to be. It felt like they put a little more effort than they usually would in trying to sell us, what's supposed to happen, Saturday and Sunday at WrestleMania. They, from the original, I guess you could say script or what they had put out, the matches that they announced last week, it seemed like they were shifting some things around. I thought we were going to see Alpha Academy and I believe RK Bro or something, but we didn't see that. We didn't see that, which I'm glad we didn't, because I feel like they've wrestled enough. They've wrestled each other enough. Let's just wait until we get the triple threat tag match at WrestleMania. But yeah, overall the show was decent. It was a good effort, better than what they normally give us on a go home show. They had, Rowan and Brock and all the people from SmackDown and Raw on this show, so it was decent.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. I'm with you as far as it looked like it was cool seeing SmackDown come over and cross over, and it looks like they I enjoy. Okay, I'll say this: it was a stacked episode as far as you look on paper. Who was featured, who showed up, who came. Now, as far as some of the execution of the storylines, nothing too major happened. They were like, oh my God, what a final episode before heading into WrestleMania. And like, I'm really got to tune in now. It's like the ultimate cliffhanger. We didn't get that.
No.
But with that being said, though, like I said, it was cool with the crossover, seeing everyone show up there from Raw and SmackDown together. It was like a super show of sorts. I enjoyed how every segment involved something leading up to building up like the last bit of story leading into WrestleMania. Whatever they didn't get to on SmackDown last Friday, they kind of finished it off here leading into WrestleMania. Now, like I said, some of the execution, we'll get into some of that, coming up here. But, it's, I guess let's go ahead and jump right into it. Like I said, it felt like it was a stacked show, but it's just like some of the stuff was okay. So we'll kick it off with Brock Lesnar. He comes into the ring. They replayed what happened on SmackDown. And like I think I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to go super in depth on SmackDown. We'll kind of combine it all here. So Brock Lesnar comes to the ring. They showed the replay what happened on SmackDown, where he pretty much took over Roman Reigns' locker room last Friday and just destroyed it, and just sitting there waiting for him because he kept saying, well, Roman, I can't touch Roman unless he provokes me. So he just kind of, poking the bear by destroying the locker room there.
Yep.
And then he cuts this promo, and I don't know, man. It just said, like, yeah, he wants to fight Roman Reigns. That's it. Like, I just felt like there wasn't much substance there. I don't know what you think about it.
Well, yeah, it wasn't much to say. And I feel like in promos and situations like that Brock was in tonight, I feel like it was missing something. Maybe because normally what they do is, they have him go out there and maybe announce a stipulation for the match, or, they obviously, we didn't get the normal, which we'll probably get Friday. Who knows? But we didn't get the normal stare down, face to face, brawl, which I'm kind of glad, because I felt like they've been in front of each other and touched each other enough. And if they're pushing for this to be the biggest match WrestleMania history, and we all know that's the tagline.
Yes.
Others.
Oh yeah, no, they've been saying it's the greatest match ever, which I'm like, that could be a debate, a separate debate.
Yes.
Listen, I get it. They gotta try to sell the show. Every year, it's always, this is the best match ever. This is the best show ever. Every year. So
this is the biggest match, in my opinion, of Roman Reigns' career, because this is the night where I feel like he can really solidify himself as the guy in WWE. Unifying the titles. Who better?
Who better than Canyon? No, but I'm with you, because jumping ahead to Roman's promo, he did acknowledge he has yet to beat Brock at WrestleMania. So this is the first time Roman has kind of acknowledged that that's his one weakness, that he has not beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And so that's kind of like, as much as he has accomplished and been a dominant force for the last couple of years, that's like the one thing hanging over his head. And we'll get into that more with Roman's promo. But with Brock here, it's just kind of like comes out, says hi to everyone, does his own, says, Paul Heyman always introduced me. I want to introduce myself. Welcome to Monday Night Raw, yada, yada, yada. It was like, okay, cool. They kind of blew their load a little early, as far as, 2 weeks ago, Brock attacking the Bloodline with like the tractor trailer, destroying the SUV. And then this past Friday on SmackDown, he still took the SUV with the pitchfork type sledgehammer, breaking the SUV, destroying the locker room. So even though they haven't been touching each other, Brock's just been like a nuisance to Roman Reigns and everything he owns, and making a life a living hell for him. But but tonight not too much happened here, which I'm kind of like I kind of wish they would have done they maybe held back like a week or two earlier and save it for tonight. That's what I was kind of hoping for. But let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on how Brock has been presented as a babyface? It's been amazing to me. He comes off as such a badass babyface, and it's like, it shows when WWE does it right, they can still make badass baby faces that we want to cheer for. Why can't they do this with other people on the roster? Why is it only just Brock Lesnar? So your thoughts on this booking of him the last few months as this cowboy babyface Brock?
Yeah, it's been great. Like you said, it makes you wonder, like, how come, everyone else doesn't get, I guess, kind of the free reign to kind of reinvent themselves and go out there and, try new things, like, hey, maybe this will work. I don't know whose idea it was, whether it was his or creatives or what, but it definitely makes this matchup because I think they had to change something, because if we went into the traditional, beast incarnate,
same dynamic,
it just wouldn't have worked. So we needed Brock Lesnar to kind of change it up, switch it up, give us a different side of him, and he's been doing that. Whether he's coming in and winning the championship or not. One thing that interests me also is that I want to talk about this. During this whole build, we got I feel like this is a match big enough, a moment big enough for some sit downs. Like, we didn't get any sit down talks. No, like like
old
those
school
promos.
JR,
yeah, we didn't get any. I felt like I would just love to because we kind of got to see it tonight with and we'll get into it with Roman and talking about how he feels about not beating Brock. Like, I feel like that should have been the main focus here. Like, because he hasn't, and that's a fact. It's true,
I was like, that could have been a story beat they could acknowledge a couple weeks ago to kind of put it in our heads, like, why, even though Roman's a heel, been dominant force, but what is his main motivation? Why he needs to win at WrestleMania? Not only be undisputed, unified champion, but like the one thing he has not accomplished that like haunts him is defeating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And they finally acknowledged that tonight, and here we are, 6 days away from the match. Like, I think that could have been something acknowledged like 3 weeks ago at least. Yep. So, no, that's a very good point. But yeah, like I said, Brock has been amazing to watch, and I hope what happens is they learn from this. Is like, okay, let's take this formula that we've been doing with Brock Lesnar. He's going to go away at some point. Probably after WrestleMania, if and when he loses drops the title to Roman, he's probably going to go away for a while. Do that same formula with someone else that you see on the roster, Drew McIntyre or whoever that you think could be like another strong baby face to maybe be opponent for Roman Reigns. Give them that same type of motivation, presentation that us fans can cheer and be like, that's a badass baby face. I want to see kick Roman Reigns' ass. That's what I'm getting at here.
Yep.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of power through a lot of these segments. Brian, please, by all means, jump in and acknowledge anything that you want that stood out for you. Next up, we saw Miz take on Rey Mysterio. Miz still had Rey's mask. They took Logan Paul comes out wearing it, so just taunting Rey. Lucha Logan. Dominic gets ejected early on in the match while Logan Paul's still out there wearing the mask. Ultimately, we see Rey pick up the victory, and Dom comes back out. They steal the mask off Logan Paul, and then they reclaim the mask. It's going to be interesting to see. I think the Mysterios are probably going to win at WrestleMania, father and son. Especially, they need to win as a make good for last year. Because remember, last year they had the big moment of winning the SmackDown tag titles, but it was on that SmackDown episode in the Thunderdome and not in Tampa at the actual WrestleMania event. So I think as a make good, give them that big win feel in front of the WWE Universe. So anything else on you want to mention?
Dominic is stepping up and sticking up and standing up for his dad a whole lot lately. I just want Kliqsters to keep an eye on that. I mean, I'm not going to say that there's a chance that we could possibly see a split after Mania, but I don't know.
He needs
Either Rey is going to feel, either they split and he goes to 2.0 like everyone's been asking, and then, obviously they stay father and son, or make Dominic interesting. Either have the road that they were going, it seemed like they were going down where he was just messing up a lot and Rey was getting frustrated.
And like
I was thinking
overprotective father figure. It was like, he's like, get away. Like, let me do my own thing.
Yep. I was thinking something was going to happen there, but obviously they put a pause on it, and they got this whole match with Miz and Logan Paul. Miz, I know that he's going to go all out. He's been doing the best he can to sell this thing. I know it's not transferring over as well as they would like to in terms of like excitement for the fans, but I'm excited to see what Logan Paul does, and I think he's been doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Also,
Logan Paul, for being a YouTube star, social media influencer, all that stuff, Vine star, he seems very natural on the microphone, so he does come off as a heel. I don't know what his long-term goals are, but he would probably be a cool manager or something at some point. But, dude, he probably makes so much money with his other business ventures. He pretty doesn't need WWE. So, he can do one and done, come back next year, whatever. But, no, this match is going to be interesting. But I agree with you. Dominic needs his own identity. He's just known as Rey's son. He needs his own personality, storyline played out. He did pretty well in NXT 2.0 with those appearances there recently. I think, he should go down there and kind of just find himself. So, yeah. I'm all for that. Next up, we saw a video of Seth Rollins visiting Titan Towers, WWE headquarters, for a meeting with Vince McMahon. He shared on social media on the weekend. He got a text from Vince says, "I need to have a meeting with you." And the full video came.
Is that the new? Is that the new?
I don't think
office?
So. I don't think they've opened them yet.
Okay. I was curious because I feel like every time they film something involving Vince, I noticed that the area just looked different, like the area to Vince's office.
I got to look closely at it. But no, so he goes visits Vince McMahon at the headquarters. But I actually watched the full video earlier. They released it on Twitter earlier in the day and on YouTube. So when that aired on Raw, I was like, all right, watch this. But yeah, he got there like 2 hours early, like right before 7 o'clock. The meeting wasn't until 9, so he was waiting for 2 hours. But he has the meeting with Vince, and just, long story short, Vince is like, why you been going through all this hassle trying to get a match for WrestleMania? You could just came and asked me. I would have booked you a match. And Seth is like, really? I could have just asked for a match? And he's like, yeah. With that being said, I'm going to pick your opponent for WrestleMania. I don't know. What you think of this whole promo? Seth was super happy. He's like, I'm going to WrestleMania now. It was like yelling at the T-Rex skeleton fossil in the office. It was a great interaction between the two of them.
It was good, and I wish that they would have shown more of the time that it passed by between when he got there from when he went to, like, I would have loved to see him like get frustrated or fall asleep,
go to the bathroom,
or wake up and
a break room,
have an alarm set and wake up every hour and be like, oh, is he ready? Stuff like that would have been really, really funny. But I know they kind of wanted to just get to the point. Everyone wanted to know if Seth Rollins was going to have a match at Mania, and Vince, being Vince, all you had to do was ask me. He's been in an all you had to do was ask me mood.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's like that easy, which is kind of funny because it's like the last 3 weeks, the drama every week. It's been kind of been for nothing then, theoretically. And a lot of people have been critical of this whole storyline. It's like, dude, it's Seth Rollins. He's one of your biggest stars. You're not going to leave him off WrestleMania. There's been other guys just getting matches handed to him, and he's been fighting for a match for all these weeks. So I know the storyline, a lot of people have been critical, but for me as a fan, I kind of take a step back. It's just watch it. Don't get super uptight with the details. They're just trying to give Seth some drama to his match eventually. So with that being said, a lot of people are speculating it's going to be Cody Rhodes finally. But you were expressing a little doubt, though.
Yeah, just because, for one, they announced it for WrestleMania Saturday, night one, and if you're already clashing, you're on Saturday, that means you're clashing with Ronda and Charlotte. You're clashing with KO and Austin, which has been rumored to be the main event segment of night
Kevin
one.
Kevin did say main event tonight.
He did, So
hey, Brian, just heads up, man. You and we got to run down. We're not. I mean, I'm just putting it out there. We don't need to sit up in the press box. We gotta get down, find some open seats somewhere, and I want to see this in person. I want to experience the glass shattered amongst the WWE universe and watch Stone Cold walk down the ramp. Up close. I'm like, yeah.
That's gonna be crazy. But so when WrestleMania Saturday, Seth Rollins, Vince McMahon's gonna pick his opponent. At first, I was on Twitter. At first, I'm reading, people are saying, "Oh, it's going to be Omos." Okay, maybe Gable Stevenson. But I'm like, it can't be Gable. I saw someone say
Goldberg. I was like, what? No.
It can't be Gable either, because it's like, that would be very underwhelming.
Yes.
We've done all this, gone through all this for Gable. And then I think, like, okay, if it is Cody, is that going to be satisfying? If from a fan standpoint, like, is that satisfying? Cody being announced in like a undercard or like a mid-card segment. I don't know. It could be before the main event segment, which is okay if that's the case, right? I just felt like if it was Cody, it would be on like Sunday. But you got a lot on Sunday. You got McAfee on Sunday. You got Logan Paul on Sunday, I believe. And Roman and Brock on Sunday, and Knoxville on Sunday.
Yeah.
So you got all that stuff that you obviously, and I mean, I guess, that'll be nice. That'll be a nice, oh my God moment before Austin, double whammy, send the fans home Saturday night. I don't know,
man. I mean, I cannot wait to see Cody's return.
Another name I saw was Bray Wyatt, but I'm like, I don't see that happening. I don't see that.
But no, I'm excited if it's Cody Rhodes. I mean, all the dirt sheet writers have been reporting it's going to be Cody. So
yeah,
looking forward to that. Next up, we saw Omos come out to the ring. Another 2-on-1 match, this time with the Viking Raiders. It didn't last that long because one of them, who was it? The bald-headed one. Sorry. Was it Ivar? No.
Ivar.
Yeah. Got hurt, and the match got called out, no contest or whatever. I was worried because, like, Viking Raiders, I love Viking Raiders. They're such a dominant force in NXT, former tag team champions. And I'm like, why did they got a job out to Omos here? Luckily, the injury angle, I think, kind of saved them a little bit here.
It was Eric. Sorry. It was Eric.
It was Eric.
Ivar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but still, I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, don't do this to Viking Raiders. Like,
yeah,
this is why you hire enhanced talent, indie wrestlers to come in and job for someone. Like, do not use one of your top tag teams just for this segment. That's what kind of got frustrating for me, like, watching this. It's like, you could easily just got two local talents from the Pittsburgh area where they were at Raw tonight, and just to do that. But the main thing was, Omos wants an opponent for WrestleMania, and sure enough, Bobby Lashley comes out. He's going to be fighting him. And it kind of got leaked out, I think, on Fightful Select like last week. Mm-hmm. But it's official. Bobby Lashley is back. I mean, okay, kayfabe, he got a concussion at Elimination Chamber, and that was what was that like 5 weeks ago now, I want to say?
Close to 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not close.
But he's back. But all the reports were he had shoulder problems, going to have surgery and be out for 4 months at least. So I don't know what's going on here. Did he not have surgery and he's going to work through it? Or I don't know, unless he's just going to wrestle one match and then finally get the surgery. But I'm super happy because as much as I love the card for WrestleMania, I was bummed that when I could see Bobby Lashley wrestle, but now we are. So him and Omos are going to wrestle. Had a little back and forth. Finally, Bobby Lashley took down Omos, hit him outside the ring. The big story that the commentators were really stressing was Omos undefeated, but has not been yet taken off his feet.
Yeah.
That looks like that's the big story beat here. I don't know about you, Brian. I mentioned to use off the air. To me, this really seems like they're trying to recreate Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 3 vibes. Yeah. I don't know about you. Is that how you kind of interpret this whole thing?
And also, but I feel like it'll probably be, I don't know. I feel like in a match like this, a moment like this, it would be a shame that Omos have taken down Cruz and what's his name? Commander Aziz.
Yeah.
2 times, and then Viking Raiders tonight, and a few more people just to get to Lashley. And not saying that Lashley's not capable, but I feel like this is Omos's moment. If you want to create stars, you want to bring some legitimacy to someone. I feel like
you think Omos is going to win here.
I feel like he should. I don't know if he will.
God. Okay.
I feel like he should. Beat Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley looks really tiny next to Omos. I'm watching. I'm like, oh my God! Like,
and where's MVP tonight, man? I missed him.
Yeah,
and Bobby, did he look like he just ran out there without his full gear on? Like, was this like he's like, oh, I'm up next? Quickly put on his like whatever gear he could get on real quick. He didn't look full. He didn't have the full tape and everything.
Nope. Looked very naked out there. But props to Omos too for that interaction he had with Lashley. Looked good. It looked decent. He made Lashley's shoulder bump to him look really good also.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I mean, it's all about I'm all about WWE creating these new stars and trying to push, hopefully.
Well, here's the thing. Keep in mind, a lot of people were speculating. It's like, okay, you released Braun Strowman last year.
Yes.
But you keep Omos around. So are they investing as Omos as the next big dominant force on their roster? Mm-hmm. If that's the case, what better way to really solidify his place on the roster than with the win over Bobby Lashley, the almighty former 2-time WWE champion Bobby Lashley. So I can, that's something to keep out for. But yeah, I just thought, is Omos going to get a body slam from Bobby Lashley? They're going to try to recreate Hogan, Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3. I mean, this is a very half-assed storyline, quick, like less than a week build versus Andre and Hogan, which was much longer. Former friends, hate each other. Andre, no! When Andre ripped the necklace off him and scratched him and he was crying. But didn't Hogan say in an interview he had like been gay or like to make him cry? I forgot. I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. But anyway, I'm looking forward to that match, seeing Bobby Lashley in person. I love Bobby Lashley. Next up, we saw just a wedding proposal in the 24/7 title scene. I don't even spend too much time. Reggie just randomly proposed to Dana, and then Tozawa proposed to Tamina. Mm-hmm. Okay, like, where's R-Truth been? The 24/7 title has not been the same without R-Truth. It just...
Well, he was in the cuts, the scouting out with the binoculars.
But it's it turns to just the four of them now for months now.
Yeah. I said on Twitter that this is good for them. I think the four of them are entertaining.
Yeah.
They've brought a different element to the 24/7 championship. And, it's not the best. It's not everybody's taste of entertainment, but it does let you see a different side of Tozawa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A little more character building there. Yeah.
Yeah. And which, Tozawa's a hell of a wrestler, but in terms of character, we haven't really got to see Tozawa, but I feel like WWE is always good when you have those type of moments. I'm glad it wasn't like a big thing in the ring, like up next type segment.
It was backstage.
Either.
Yeah.
Backstage, real quick, really cool, really nice. It's all what worries me though is the what's next. We've seen all this. We've seen different stages of the 24/7 title segments, and this one is almost about everything but the 24/7 championship.
Is this going to lead to like a double wedding, and then someone's going to get pinned, like with what's his name, British guy, cruiserweight.
Oh my God,
Spud, Rockstar Spud.
Yes.
Or Drake Maverick.
Drake Maverick.
He had the 24/7 title when he got married, right? Had him around this way. So it's going to be a double marriage and like someone to get pinned.
Oh my God.
R-Truth is going to officiate or something. I already see it coming.
Do you think they'd go on that long?
I mean, I don't know.
Anything can happen in the world wrestling.
Let's move on to the big dog and Roman Reigns. The Bloodline made an appearance on Raw. Dude, how sick were those red outfits? Roman Reigns in the red jumpsuit.
Yep.
Bloodline, red. Monday Night Raw, red logo. That was cool. Now, I hope if he wins, becomes undisputed champion, therefore has to be on Raw and SmackDown. Mm-hmm. Whenever he's on Raw moving forward, I hope he keeps wearing that red jumpsuit.
Yeah. That was nice. It's a really nice touch, and it makes you, it's Roman Reigns. It reminds me, he reminds me a lot of The Rock, right? And I say that just because The Rock, whenever he would come out, he'd be dressed, wasn't as color coordinated as Roman is today, but he always was dressed and kind of like a hybrid, like always ready to fight if he needs to, right? But still looking nice shoes on. He had the Jordan ones.
Hey, let's be real, man. Like, I know it's technically athletic gear. Yeah. Between the sneakers and like high end like jumpsuits, that's pretty expensive outfits still. Yeah. I know it's not like a Miz type suit. Yeah, that is a still expensive wardrobe right there.
Definitely.
So he looks good. I like how Roman countered, the what chance and said, man, I'll smash Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'll smash Brock Lesnar. But what are your thoughts on this whole promo here? Like I said, it was Brock, and my thing was like, okay, Roman's in the ring. Where's Brock Lesnar to chase him down? Because we saw Brock in the first segment. Why is Brock not coming out to attack Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
But Roman still just more or less sold his match against Brock at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I definitely thought that a chase down was going to happen. I was like, okay, it didn't happen with Brock. Brock's definitely going to come out, and we're going to get a chase down, and something's going to happen. But that didn't happen. I think I loved Roman's promo. I think he did a good job, again, selling it. When I heard him talk about the WrestleMania 34 match and how, he busted him open and, he and the fact that he's, makes him angry, he never beat him at WrestleMania.
He's vulnerable now.
Yeah. But I feel like it would have been much better to hear that, like you said, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Maybe in a sit down with Michael Cole, have him talk about what this means and
the psychology of it. Yeah.
Yeah. What is this match? Why is this the biggest, wrestle match in WrestleMania history? Why is it? Well, and then Roman Reigns could tell you why, because, I've never beat, and obviously you would ask Brock Lesnar the same thing. Why is it, and then, honestly, I don't even know why this would be the biggest match in WrestleMania history to
never
explain like
why.
Lesnar.
Yeah, why it is the biggest match. They're just telling us, but like explain why it is.
Right. I mean, if it's because both titles are on the line, unification, we've seen that before. We've seen title unification. But going back to Roman's promo, I think he did a really good job. Playing around with the crowd, messing around with the crowd, but then getting back to business and basically saying, what he's going to do and
revenge, payback. Yeah. I'm amped. Out of the two promos between Brock and Roman's was much better.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I'm excited for that. Next up, we had the 8-women tag. It was the baby faces, Sasha, Naomi, Rhea, and Liv Morgan taking on Carmella, Zelina, Natty, and Shayna. Baby faces win here. Not much to tell. I mean, these all 8 ladies, they're kind of like on the outside looking in of the title picture scene for both Raw and SmackDown. So they're all kind of like, I think eventually going to be the next set of opponents for Bianca or Becky, Charlotte, Ronda, whoever wins out of WrestleMania. So they're all just floating and they're all taking on each other here. But they had a similar match on SmackDown this week, so it was just kind of repetitive. It's like another type of rematch, a little bit different scenario. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Next up, they had an awesome video package for Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kid Rock, Bob with a Ball, kind of explain his whole history. I guess for the younger fans who maybe didn't grow up with Stone Cold Steve Austin, who don't know his full history and his importance and his value to the industry, I thought it was a great video just celebrating who he is. And with the use of Kid Rock of Bob with a Bob, which is over 20 years old, it just got me amped up. Felt like an Attitude Era type video package. Yep. I don't know what you think how that played.
I definitely felt the same way. And I seen some people on Twitter kind of, didn't like the song choice. And
well, I will admit, because I think of Kid Rock, I think of Undertaker. That's my one thing. It was like, they should have used Disturb or something like that. I don't know. But It was fine. I got amped
cool.
up.
Yeah. It's gonna feel different in a couple of days too when when they run that promo back, and then it's tomorrow night, Stone Cold WrestleMania, AT&T Stadium. It's gonna feel a lot different as it gets closer.
Man, maybe we should go to that Stone Cold party on Thursday. Just drive out Fort Worth, Texas. You and I.
What?
That sounds like a movie. You and I traveling to Fort Worth, Texas. Like, where are we? But I heard the place that Billy Bob's thinks the venue. I've heard nothing but great things. The people there are friendly.
Wow.
So I don't know. Maybe we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it. But then Kevin Owens comes out, cuts a pretty good promo. I gotta give Kevin Owens and even Seth Rollins credit.
Yes,
both guys here are ultimately single-handedly carrying their respective matches. Seth Rollins fighting for a match at WrestleMania, and now it's a mystery opponent. Kevin Owens gonna have a segment, altercation, whatever you want to call it, with Stone Cold. Stone Cold has not been on TV, so he's been like by himself trying to sell this match. So both guys, I give credit for trying to sell their individual segments or matches for WrestleMania. But Kevin Owens here, once again saying Stone Cold's old, he's in the past, I'm the present, I'm going to be the best stunner, I'm going to give Stone Cold a stunner, beer sucks, all this stuff. I enjoy Kevin Owens here. I give him so much credit, and he's going to be, hopefully we'll get to talk to him at the press junket on Friday. But yes, I will tell him, dude, props to you for just carrying this whole thing. Anything else from the promo that stood out?
I like his shirt, Stunner versus Stunner.
Yeah, and it's like Hogan Ultimate Warrior WrestleMania. Is it 6 or 7? 6, yeah.
6. And I
gotta get that.
I love the shirt, and yeah, I agree with you. Kevin Owens, he deserves a lot of credit. He's done a lot even before the Austin, I guess challenge. Doing him and Seth Rollins, even when they were working as a tag team, coming out every night, whether it was on Raw or SmackDown, and really putting the shows on their back. And then again, they continue to do it as they're split up. Kind of makes me realize why Kevin Owens, if it is true, him and Austin being rumored for the main event segment for night 1.
He said it, main event. I was like, whoa, that's the first I've heard that. So
yeah, and hey, if that's true, then hey, congratulations. I know a lot of people were critical of his decision to stay with WWE. And I mean, he's having fun. Dude,
what a reward for re-signing with the company. Mm-hmm. Main event WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin. It didn't get better than that, my friend. So that's awesome.
Yep.
It'll go down in history. He'll be forever, in the lineage of WWE WrestleMania history books.
It'll probably be a clip from whatever happens will probably be in the signature open or something for years to come.
Yeah, man. That's if we can talk to.
It'll be one of those moments that they play back every year, absolutely. Getting ready for WrestleMania.
And by the way, it'll finally give some fresh video package for Stone Cold, because it's been the same stuff from the Attitude Era. Like from 96 to 2003, there's only so much that they've been recycling for years. So this will be something new. I'm looking forward to it. Which, by the way, I've noticed they have never acknowledged, remember when he was a ref for Vince versus Donald Trump, Lashley versus Umaga, hair versus hair, Battle of the Billionaires. Stone Cold has done other appearances, but they've been focusing on his in 2003. That's it, 19 years. But we know he's been doing other appearances.
They don't talk about the WrestleMania 20 Brock and Goldberg.
Yeah.
They don't talk about that either.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't he referee for that match too?
Oh yeah, and he's stunned. The New Day, like last time they were in Texas with Mick Foley and Shawn Michaels. I mean, he's done stuff. But anyway, this is the narrative they're going with, and we'll just focus on that. Yep. But let's see. Austin Theory took on Ricochet. Ricochet, Intercontinental Champion, loses to Austin Theory. Intercontinental Championship going to be defended on SmackDown this week. A lot of people were complaining about that. Your thoughts on IC title just going to be on SmackDown this week and not on an actual match on WrestleMania?
I'm hoping that we get an Intercontinental Championship match announced on Friday. Again, it's triple threat rules. He doesn't have to be pinned in order to lose the championship. Los Lothario, they're a tag team. They're cousins. I don't know if they're trying to cause friction with those guys or not, but him losing tonight, I think, was a bad decision going into that match, because I know they had to make Austin Theory look good, which really they didn't have to, because Austin Theory didn't need to be in the match anyways. Mm-hmm. If you're going to put Austin Theory in a match, then I think putting him in there with, I don't know, someone, give him a singles match against Eric of the Viking Raiders,
Yeah, and here's my thing. With the way they're trying to sell WrestleMania, it's 2 nights, but also, if you really think about it, it's a 4-day weekend. Yeah. SmackDown, Hall of Fame, Stand and Deliver, Night 1, Night 2, Raw after Mania. I based on Wikipedia right here, you got 7 matches Night 1, 7 matches Night 2, but technically on Wikipedia, I guess it'd be 8 if you count the KO segment that's not listed here with Stone Cold.
Yep.
4 hours each night, I'm guessing, theoretically. So it's already filled up to the masses right now. You're still trying to sell tickets for SmackDown, a.k.a. or also Hall of Fame, and also Raw after Mania.
Yep.
I get they're like, okay, what are some attractions that we can apply to SmackDown and make people come and watch? Let's put the IC title defense there.
Yep.
It's unfortunate. We love the IC title, its history, what it represents, all that stuff. But from a business standpoint, they're like, okay, we got to kind of cut some fat here from Night 1, Night 2. What can we put over on SmackDown, that SmackDown, WrestleMania SmackDown show that they're listening to? All right, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal put over there, IC title match. So it's kind of adding some flavor to that SmackDown to make it special leading into, it's almost like one big kickoff show into the weekend.
That's true, and a lot of people aren't thinking about it. I'm glad you said that, because now you've also made me kind of look at it from a different perspective. It is a big, would you say 4-day weekend?
Yeah.
That SmackDown's not just a regular SmackDown.
Yeah, it's special
literally,
too.
They're calling it WrestleMania SmackDown. Like, that's the SmackDown before WrestleMania. So it's like, hey, if you don't make the big card, we've already, hey, come watch SmackDown. We're gonna have the Intercontinental Championship. The U.S. Champion is in action, and the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I mean, you got a point.
And here's the other thing too. Keep in mind, we love the IC title. Theoretically, it should be like the second best title in WWE. Unfortunately, WWE, the landscape of things, it's not. It's at best third best. Mm-hmm. When you got the Universal title, which technically is presented as the top title, I hate to say it, because to me, the WWE Championship should be the number 1 title, because the lineage, Hogan, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, The Rock, Bruno Sammartino, that should be the number 1 title. But it really gets kind of treated as the second tier title, aka what the IC title used to be back in the day. So you got Universal title 1, which is treated like how the WWE Championship used to be back in the day. Now the WWE Championship is treated or kind of presented as what the IC title was back in the day. You get what I'm saying? With the brand split era that we live in now, whatnot, that's how it's all being presented to us. With the IC title, the US title, I know it sucks that they're not going to be defended at WrestleMania Night 1, Night 2. I would love that as well. But at the same time, you can use them to sell these other events in WrestleMania weekend as a whole. So yeah, Ricochet will defend at SmackDown. Finn Balor will be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I know it's not the most sexy way to go, but at least they're still part of the festivities. If you buy a ticket for the whole weekend, you get to see them. I know it's not the best scenario. It does suck, though, seeing Ricochet lose. You're the IC champion. You shouldn't be losing to Austin Theory. Like, don't even just put that match together then. Don't have it.
Yeah.
But it sucks.
Or have Los Lotharios come out
and cost him. Yeah.
Cost him the match and sell your SmackDown tickets.
Boom. Perfect. I love that. they also acknowledged Triple H's news, which we already talked about earlier. Bianca Belair promo. She's, saying pissed off at Becky Lynch for, injuring her really bad. Becky Lynch comes out, attacks her, turns into a brawl. Becky pulls out the scissors, try to cut Bianca's hair. She counters, a couple KODs. Becky's knocked out. Bianca cuts her hair, cuts Becky's hair. So pretty wild stuff right there, man.
Yeah, definitely. I was so scared. I thought that they were going to really cut Bianca's hair off. And while, we all know,
it's not real, people.
Not real.
If you follow on social media, her hair is not that long. She just puts the extension in before every show.
Right. But I was like, oh my God, this is the end, which almost would have made more sense considering that she used it to put those marks on her a few weeks ago. Yeah. So it makes sense why Becky would want to cut that thing off.
So what do you think, man? After this segment, do you think Becky comes off more as the babyface here? Or do you think Bianca is still just a badass babyface and countering? Like, screw you trying to cut my hair. I'll cut your hair. You're chicken ass heel for trying to cut my hair and not woman enough to take me on for how I am.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's, especially after what she did. She tried to take her out, and I mean, she did. She put her out for a couple of weeks. What was it? She had the chair around her neck and she slammed her into the ring post. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, with that happening, if anything, I did say on Twitter that I said, I don't know, we might get the man Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. She seemed really frustrated, really ticked off at Bianca.
The promo afterwards.
Yeah, we might get a different. I know it's, Becky's been a very cocky, very, just full of herself.
I just snapped her out of that.
Yeah. Hey, it's time to go to work at WrestleMania.
But Bianca's got to win at WrestleMania to get payback for SummerSlam.
All of this also made me think, because I was thinking that they would probably have Bianca win in, was it 26 seconds or whatever? I was thinking that they were going to do that. But with what Becky has done to Bianca and now what Bianca's done to Becky, it's got to be a match. It's got to be longer than that. Mm-hmm. I think Bianca should win and get that payback. Okay, it's got to be a moment.
Let's see. Next up, we saw Drew McIntyre handicap match against Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. Happy Corbin leaves the ring early on.
I knew it.
Drew destroys Madcap with the Claymore, and then Happy attacks Drew afterwards and takes his sword. I already see the writing on the wall. Drew is gonna destroy Happy Corbin, get his sword back, celebrate in the ring, WrestleMania moment with his sword, getting it back. And I feel like Madcap's going to turn on Happy Corbin here because his jokes haven't been landing. Happy seems really kind of annoyed with Madcap's presence now. I feel like they're going to have a falling out here, and I think Madcap's probably going to turn babyface. So yeah,
WrestleMania moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Edge cut a promo backstage in a dark office.
Yep.
Just more or less reinforcing his whole mission of why he wants AJ Styles. AJ felt like has been lackluster as a performer for the last year. In 2021, he wants the best of AJ and he wants to take it out on him. But then AJ has a backstage interview and, says he's ready. So, it's kind of back-to-back promos, just trying to sell their match. They have no actual they have not interacted since the concerto shots a few weeks ago. So,
I think and then Edge coming out and putting the chair to the back of Styles in his match with Seth Rollins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Costing him the match with Seth Rollins last week. So I'm looking forward to that. I think a lot of people think that might be the match of the weekend. So
yes,
it should be good.
Looking forward. What I'm looking for and looking forward to is maybe a new style for Edge.
Okay.
I'm hoping to see a different side of Edge. Maybe more brutal, because, if he goes in there and
ruthless aggression.
We've always known him as, the rated R superstar. That's when he was at his best. And so if he goes in there and he fights, because this isn't the Rated R Superstar, he goes in, or maybe it is, maybe it's just a different version of the Rated R Superstar. But with that being said, I feel like for this to be a big payoff, I want to see a completely different side of Edge. I don't know who I want to win. I don't know.
AJ. Got me, AJ. All right, main event time. You saw Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs come out, and they were supposed to be a commentary, but the commentary desk was already filled. We haven't talked about this. You had Byron Saxton. You had Jimmy Smith. Michael Cole was there. Corey Graves. Corey Graves was like pushed to the side a lot, especially when Carmella was injured. But then Rick Boogs and Shinsuke were there, but they didn't really sit there because it was already a full house. So they just stood around. Main event, RK Bros versus the Usos. Champion versus champion from both Raw and SmackDown, the tag team division. Fun main event. Ultimately, those Street Profits come out, interfere, cost the match. It was kind of interesting. Street Profits kind of come off a little heelish here as far as attacking RK Bro, but it makes sense because it leads to their match between RK Bro, Street Profits, Alpha Academy. Usos run away pretty quickly after that. Randy hits an RKO on the Street Profits. Then Riddle takes a turn with the RKO. They stand tall, though, based on, wrestling math.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to drop the titles then. I don't know, man. But fun main event, overbooked. Protects everyone with the interference, though. Kind of a cheap ending, but it's TV. You're going to save the big moment at WrestleMania.
Another one of those matches that I think probably didn't have to happen. We didn't have to, could have saved something like this for night after WrestleMania. But I'm conflicted because, I don't know what's going to happen now. Is RK Bro does this mean that they're going to retain? Does this mean that, okay, maybe they're dropping the titles? The Street Profits do come off a little more heelish, but are they just fed up? Are they tired of being overlooked? They're tired of being overlooked, underappreciated. They come out, they sell, they were doing the shop selling and the, network thing for years, And I believe this is their first WrestleMania, right?
In front of a crowd, maybe. I think
I don't think they were there last year.
But it should be a big moment for them anyway. So I'm looking forward to that. So, like I said, on paper, action-packed Monday Night Raw. So many people doing, so every segment was filled with something leading up to WrestleMania. So excited, man. Looking forward to it. We will be on site at WrestleMania.
Yes.
We'll get some other things lined up this week. But on that note, let's start wrapping things up. Brian, where can the Kliqsters find you online?
Kliqsters, you guys know you can find me at BrianTronic on Twitter and Instagram, or at Within the Ropes on Twitter and Instagram. That's where I'll mostly be posting a lot of my stuff majority of the time, especially this weekend during WrestleMania.
I want to get a photo of you and Charlotte Flair. That's the number one goal in the weekend. That's the number one goal, my friend, this weekend for you. We will make that happen.
Yes.
All right, I'm Baby Huey. Follow me on Facebook at Baby Huey Official, Twitter and Instagram at Baby Huey83. For everything else, at In The Kliq, InTheKliq@gmail.com. Subscribe to us. Where we get your podcasts at. All the interviews from this weekend will be posted there. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. The videos will be there. Thank you in advance to Tim from Pro Wrestling Unlimited for helping edit all those videos. Subscribe to Pro Wrestling Unlimited on YouTube as well. A lot of exciting stuff, man. The road to WrestleMania is this week. Looking forward to all the fun activities. And if any of you Kliqsters are out there and you see us, come up, say hi. Love to interact. We'll be moving around trying to experience as much as we can. So please let us know if you're going. We'd love to say hi to everyone. So on that note, let's go home. And that's the bottom line because Huey said so.